Davis Mattek, congratulations on your winning.
Somebody must not have registered a lineup. There's no way somebody made a lineup on DraftKings.com that scored less than you in cash game.
we need to out this person, like username and everything.
This person's going to be listening to this show and never listen again.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the RotoGrinders Daily Fantasy NFL Show. This is the Sunday night, Monday morning recap show with myself, Davis Mattek, Nate Nohling, and Sammy Reid. You can find us on Twitter at Davis Mattek, at Nate Nohling, Nohling, and at Sammy Reid FI. We had to wait for Sammy to get his computer rebooted because he's such an old man that he went to reboot it and then he kind of just wandered away and forgot what he was doing. So just recording a little bit.
And then it was my bedtime. So
I mean, it's what, like 6:30 on the West Coast right now? Like the sun's still up?
Yeah.
Davis and
but, I got to be up early though,
It's absurd. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This was not my proudest week. Things did not go great for me personally.
Davis, it's really good to have you back. We really missed you last week. And,
last week I smashed and I didn't get to come on and talk about smashing. So that's a little unfortunate.
Well, this week we decided we're going to change the show a little bit. And instead of having me or Sammy, one of the top lineups breakdown lineup, I think we should go with whoever scored the lowest.
We can do that.
So I kind of like that. Put them on blast.
Davis, what did you score this week?
On DraftKings.com, I scored 115.38 points. And I got 17 from my defense. So, do we really want to learn about? Well, yeah, no, that'll be a good.
How are you going to enjoy that Christmas ham this year?
Fella, we're not even going to be able to afford ham in this household.
It's going to be Christmas thick cut bacon, Farmer John's or something.
I mean, yeah, we can do my lineup, and I believe Sammy actually scored the most points.
Yeah, but I think I mean honestly, you learn more from your failures than from your successes. So I feel like putting the spotlight on the lowest guy, and it's like a mark of shame. This show is not about building each other up. It's about tearing each other down and having the top guy go. It's like, okay, great. You won some money. You did good. Good for you.
Yeah,
but having the low guy.
Wants to hear us play grab.
No, none of us made money because we faded Zeke. So
that is correct.
Sure. All three of us full fade of Ezekiel Elliott and cash.
So that's the kind of show you're listening to. Reevaluate your life.
Yeah, listen to our opinions for the next half hour for sure. So starting off, did we all take Brett Hundley at quarterback?
No.
I did. I fell for it.
Amy took Tyrod?
Yeah. I mean, it just reminded me of Hogan the week before. It's like, oh, he had one good game, and Hundley's game wasn't even that good, but it's like, okay, this guy's a good athlete. He's got potential. But really, it's like his second NFL game in a tough spot, and there's just such a low floor there.
I didn't really think the Saints at home was that tough of a spot.
Yeah, here's why I went with him, and it was different for me than like the Hogan and the Kaiser stuff, is because he has a supporting cast. I mean, the rest of this Green Bay offense is one of the most elite offenses in the NFL right now. I mean, you talk about Jordy, Devontae, Randall Cobb, plus Martellus, plus
Are you actually sure about that?
Yes.
Like, really sure?
Yes. I'm pretty sure that the Packers surrounding offense is better than the Browns surrounding offense.
Well, yeah, it's better
Montgomery
than the Browns, but
plus Jones running the ball. I mean, I don't know, dude. I think he stepped in with great weapons. He had all week to prepare, and I was like, well, it's different than the Tyrod thing, where because with Tyrod you had a receiver in Jordan Matthews who wasn't able to basically catch because he had a broken hand or whatever, had this crazy glove on, and nobody other than Shady. He's literally playing with Nick O'Leary as his starting tight end. It's like,
yeah, but the thing is, you're like saying the supporting cast for Hundley is good, but Tyrod is actually good, right? His supporting cast isn't, but Tyrod is good.
I don't really think Tyrod is good. That would be why I like playing Tyrod, even in a good spot, even in a place where I think he's going to throw 30 times, doesn't even ever really excite me that much because I actually don't think he's that good.
Well, I think the whole thing was that he has a higher, and we saw it today. He has a higher
floor. Yeah,
that's just all there is to it. When you're going for a guy with 5.1, it's like, okay, you can try to hit a home run, but really, I'm just hoping to get 18 points, and I'll be real happy.
I mean, Hundley was like one more like
80-yard touchdown.
No, he was like one like Scott Tolzien like Doc Giff move away from hitting 3x. Like. He played bad and he looks terrible, but he's like, people are going to act all week like anyone who played Hundley was a fish. And I actually think that like, relatively speaking, the decision between Tyrod and Hundley, not that bad and not something that's
Davis, I played him too, but I'm going to stop you here. Like, take the L, bro. He had 87.
Nate, be the voice of reason. Jump on the sword. It's egregious.
No, I don't think that's really that big of an error at all.
Davis.
Dude, it's time to reevaluate the process, mate.
Yeah, you got to take the L here.
You guys are being super results oriented here.
Davis, the only reason he has any points is because he lucked into a rushing touchdown. You take that rushing touchdown away and make him out at the 1. He's got 4 points.
I mean, but he's a good runner though, so how is that luck?
That was a pretty strong move, though. He was like about to cut out of bounds, and he's like, "Nah, actually, I'll just cut it back here and score."
Yeah, he's a good rusher. That was like a big part of why I wanted to play him.
Yeah, but Tyrod is also a good rusher, and Tyrod ran for like 50-something yards because that's what Tyrod does.
I don't think Tyrod is like a terrible play. I want to go for like that little bit of upside that I thought Hundley had versus Tyrod.
Okay, so on a scale of like whatever it is, 1 to 10. What number fish was your Tyrod play? Like, was it fishier or less fishy than what you did at running back and wide receiver?
All my choices at running back were fine too. The errors I made, and I made 4 of them, were at the pass catcher position.
I can't wait for this. Let's talk about running back first, because I think all 3 of us played the same 3 running backs.
Yeah, I think we did.
Ivory, McCoy, and Bell.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those were the optimal 3. If you played Zeke, good for you. You got the top 5% game. I don't have any condemnation for you, but I don't think you made like the game theory optimal play.
I just think with Zeke worked. Zeke worked, but I think time and time again, if you play Zeke and Bell at the same price, like I'll take Bell 10 times out of 10 at home. And we saw that this workload for Lev is just insane, and he has such a greater range of outcomes. And it took Zeke having a 3 TD game to make up for. I don't know. I think Lev's the play. I don't feel like that was fish at all. It definitely hurt in cash games because when you're in a 20-point hole basically in cash with a running back at the exact same price who's 30% owned, you're not coming back from that. So
yeah, that hurt.
It lost the week, but I don't.
I mean, if you played Tyrod over Hundley, you'd be fine, dude.
Yeah, I did that. I did pretty good in cash, but not like amazing because of Zeke. I completely agree. Like Zeke was not a bad play. Like he was a very, very good play. I will just take Bell and his 38 touches all the time.
So did I run bad with my Ivory take, not just like being the smash, or did he look as bad as his stat line suggests?
I actually did not watch a single snap of this game.
Yeah.
So
Ivory was worse than his stat line looked.
Okay.
Ivory got lucky. Ivory got lucky with the touchdown, and if he didn't, we would be in serious trouble.
I was like,
I don't think it was fish though.
I was like so certain he was like the best play of like the running back slate.
I mean, I think you had to play him just because. I mean, when you looked at his ownership and when you looked at the fact that he was 4.8 and the touches that he was projected to get, but he's not good.
I mean, he went from having 10 targets to having 0 targets though. Like
because he shifted roles. And they brought in Yeldon and
Corey Grant.
And Yeldon smashed.
Yeah, and Corey Grant.
I mean,
game of his life.
Career high in rushing yards for TJ Yeldon after Nate played him 6 weeks in a row last year and said, "Come on, guys, you know this guy gets like 7 targets a game. You know Yeldon's the smash play for that." Every week, Yeldon 4.6 DraftKings points on 8 targets.
I remember this, and it was probably the best time of my life. It was like that in high school. Yeah.
I can't say anything.
No, I think Yeldon was a sharp play. I think he was a good play. He just didn't do good because he's not.
You mean Ivory?
You mean Ivory? You couldn't have played Yeldon.
Yeah.
Yeldon had a game.
No, maybe Siege played Yeldon, but other than that,
someone sent me a screenshot of them playing Yeldon, and I was just like, great, good for you, man. Mock my king.
That's hot. That's hot. Right in the middle of
Ivory had 17 carries for 2.8 yards per carry versus the Indianapolis Colts. So
strong.
Not very not Melvin Gordon-esque of him.
Oh, Melvin Gordon. Jesus, that guy sank my GPPs. I was all over the Melvin plus Chargers pivot off of Shady, and didn't do well in GPPs because Melvin's an idiot.
I mean, I
tried to tell you on that.
I did dice everything up this week in a completely terrible way, but Mark Ingram was 100% the running back to play at that spot instead of Shady.
Yeah, I mean, I was not that much on Ingram, and that was just a bad process by me.
You didn't read the automatic absolutes this week, man.
I did. I just usually fade your plays.
I went back.
I always read your column.
I went back and I looked all the way until 2010, and this is literally not even close. The least competition that Ingram has ever had for touches ever. Not even in terms of the backfield, but in terms of like the tight ends that they have active and how many wide receivers are drawing like 5% or more of the market share. Like this offense, we're so used to like John Kuhn and Jed, whatever his name is, that guy that exists. Like these guys don't even exist anymore. They're giving the ball to like 4 players a game, and that's it.
That's actually a really sharp take, Davis.
Even if you look at their offense today, Kamara had 14, Ted Ginn had 7, Michael Thomas had 7, and then Ingram had 27 touches.
Ye gods!
Like he's like doubling up everyone else, and no one else on the team had more than 2 targets.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
And he's not a bad running back either. I mean, he's good in passing work, and he has a decent yards per carry. You know.
No, he should have been more expensive. Like he should have been $8,000 this week.
Yeah, the price jump is what got me off of him.
And that's I haven't checked my GPPs yet. I've only checked cash because I don't actually want to know. But I think there's a chance that I could have made some money because I went just 100% Ingram in tournaments.
That's pretty solid. Davis, on the Swolecast on Friday, Silva said that he was on Zeke over Bell because Bell doesn't score touchdowns at home. And that happened again. Do you think there's something to that?
No. That's like, it just, for what reason would that be a thing? Like, is he going to trip at the 3-yard line when he's at home?
I don't know. Heinz Field turf, it's rough.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, like.
That's not a thing.
Yeah, it's not a thing.
Okay.
All right. Well, whatever. You guys want to do wide receivers? You just want to
get I really want to hear about this. I think we should spend the bulk of our show on this section right here.
So I waffled like 40 times on what I wanted to do. And even the team that I wanted to run, I actually think still would have been bad. But the combination of pass catchers I ran were Pierre Garçon, Rashard Matthews, Demaryius Thomas, and George Kittle. And I mean, combined, they didn't hit 25.
I mean, I want to call you a fish here, and I guess I would. But, I mean, I played Demaryius and Garçon too.
Here's the thing. In and of themselves, I don't think any of those plays were bad, but the combination of the 4 of them is terrible because only Demaryius has the ability to break 25. And even then, with Simeon as his quarterback, it's so low. Like, Demaryius has not scored yet this season. And Pierre Garçon has not scored yet this season. George Kittle has 1 touchdown on the year. I believe Rashard Matthews has 1 on the year. Like, you just these are not plays to group together. Like,
yeah, it's a bad basketball team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like sure.
I think the thing about Kittle that I think some people are missing is Sean Lee was back for this game, and this Dallas defense is difficult against over the middle routes like that. So I don't know. The Kittle getting 2 targets didn't surprise me.
I mean, it was Kittle or it was Jack Doyle, and that decision didn't kill me. Doyle had like 8, I think. I think he had 4 for 45.
Only 4
I actually thought Doyle was a good play. So
it was Kittle or Doyle, and I wasn't gonna. The decision I was trying to make
You would have 4x'd your total receiver points if you would have gotten Kittle.
No, how many total receptions did you get, Davis, when you combine them? Kittle had 1, and Demaryius had 2, so that's 3.
Rashard Matthews had 3, so that's 6. And Pierre Garçon had 5, so I had 11.
Between 4 pass catchers, yeah. Could be better.
On a full-point PPR site.
Could be better.
Not great.
And the reason playing Rashard Matthews was bad was because I even said this to Sammy before the game. I said he got completely saved by DeMarco Murray being in because it kept him playing Henry.
That is correct.
And I wholeheartedly believe that. Like, not that the Browns are good, just that this is a spot the Titans mess up and play terribly 75% of the time, 80% of the time.
Sounds right.
Yeah. And I just believe that this was like a gross, terrible, low-scoring AFC, like Marcus Mariota as a bum hammy game, and that's 100% what it was.
Dude, they smashed against Indy last week, man.
I mean, Indy is a different beast than Cleveland, though.
Yeah, are they?
Yeah, they're Indy is the worst team.
This Cleveland defense with people starting to be healthy again is actually decent.
Wasn't Jabril Peppers out? Pretty sure he was out.
Isn't that guy just like a specialty punt returner?
No, he plays that 25-yard safety that Cleveland likes to do also. Yeah, but
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, Nate, what did you do at receiver? Like, how did you get this done?
So what I did at receiver, and
Nate did what I was gonna do. Go ahead.
And this is a lot of people. It didn't work out. I paid up for AB, and I went with the AB Lev stack, and then I paid for Demaryius and the Benny Fowler stack, which I think a lot of people think is probably not smart. But I mean, the more I looked into the target share this week, the more I realized like these targets have to go somewhere between Emmanuel Sanders being out and then Isaiah McKenzie being out. There's going to be huge targets funneled there, and him being 3.3, I thought Benny Fowler was going to see minimum 7 targets, and I thought Demaryius would see slightly more inflated than his normal targets. And unfortunately, I think Demaryius was a little bit more injured than I think I realized, and didn't see his normal work. He saw 6 targets and only came up with 2 receptions. He had one huge 88-yarder that was called back, which obviously was tilting, but
he was guilty.
You know what's tilting though is AJ Derby was hit right there at that tight end range that we were all looking at, and he smashed. And no, he was.
Did he? I didn't even see what he did.
For a $2,900 tight end, 6 for 66. Pretty he had
a good game. So I mean, it was a little bit tough, but Fowler came. 5 receptions for 45 yards from a 3.3 receiver. I mean, it's not terrible. Antonio Brown, I think Pittsburgh just had this inability to score touchdowns because every time they'd get past the 50-yard line, anytime there's a third down call, they would just fish it and make the worst play call ever, and it would end up in a field goal every single time. So AB had definitely I'm not ever going to feel bad about playing AB in cash. I think 8.9 for AB is – these price tags are just too low for AB and Bell at 8.9 and 9.1.
I really like that you did AB and Lev in cash. And I think even though they, AB scored and Lev had 190 total yards, I think you ran bad with those two guys.
Watching the game was infuriating because literally any one of those field goals gets turned into a touchdown, and this game totally looks different because, their offense is so funneled towards those two. It's insane how much workload. And I was even a little bit concerned that, the Martavis news, squeaky wheel, what's going to happen?
Dude,
and
that narrative was so elite. He was featured to the tune of 1 catch for 3 yards.
But they also ran a reverse to him for 2 yards, I believe.
Started the game with it.
Boom.
But Antonio Brown got 10 targets. Antonio Brown got 10 targets, and I think and Lev got 3 targets, and then how many? He had 29 rushes.
35 rushes.
35 rushes. So
and three catches.
They have such a concentrated part of that offense that I don't think it's ever bad to stack those 2 in cash.
No, No, especially when they're priced down, like you said, like they're not both $9,000, like 9,800. They were both like right at $9,000. Like, great, perfect, do it. I just couldn't stomach. I did Demaryius and not Fowler because I couldn't stomach playing both of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you know, I chose the wrong one. I thought Demaryius was like fire. I went Demaryius, Garcon, Robert Woods, and Jimmy Graham. So
yeah, Sammy, you really sharped it up.
A little bit. I mean, because Ivory was in, like that allowed me to get up to Graham, and I just really liked Graham. And I mean, he didn't even do that great. He just caught a touchdown, which, you know, he's going to do a lot. But he was like 3 for 51 and a touch on 6 targets, and I just felt more confident, you know, in cash with his floor than the other guys.
Yeah. And then okay, we already did flex talk, and then you all played the Rams, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was.
I actually do think that was like the mark of like someone who's not good at DFS if they didn't play the Rams on DraftKings.
Yeah. I mean, my 2 most owned defenses were the Rams, and then I had in GPPs, I had a bunch of Vikings and I had a bunch of Chargers. And the Chargers were like, dude, them and the Bears. But the Bears like luck boxed into it.
Yeah, the Bears got those 2 defensive touchdowns in. They were 30% on cash games because of the reverse line movement. And Vegas knew. And
Oh my God,
people are going to chase that for the next. People are going to chase that.
Vegas knew Trubisky was only going to throw 7 times.
Yeah,
I mean,
people are going to chase this for the next 7 weeks, and I don't think that reverse line movement correlation to defensive interceptions for touchdowns has any predictive value moving forward.
Dude, you need to plug it into the model though. You need to make sure run some correlations, you know, some R-squareds.
No, it doesn't.
All right. Are we good? Are we good on that?
I feel like we didn't make enough fun of you for this lineup. I mean, that's just
it's not good.
It's just bad, man.
No, just like the combination of like clicking submit on a lineup.
What made you go like, of all of the great wide receivers this week and pass catchers, what made you go like, I want 2 from this San Francisco offense?
Gotta
led
load up.
by CJ. Like, what made you?
Here's
what pushed you over the edge on
that? I actually think it like low key could have been sharp. Had a Hoyer been a quarterback.
Like Michael Thomas, you have AJ Green, you have Antonio Brown, you have all these guys in like smash spots.
Well, they just were not accessible to me. At like once I decided I didn't want to play Fowler.
Fowler was the key to getting any of those guys.
Fowler was the key to playing anyone you wanted to play, and I didn't want to get Rashard Higgins.
Yeah, I was not like on Fowler. I was not about that life.
Which is a mistake. Like it's a mistake to be afraid of getting Higgins when really all you need is like 8 to like not be miserable. Like I didn't even lose 100% of my games playing these like junkies. Like
no, really?
Yeah, I lost.
You're gonna get an email from DraftKings tomorrow.
Oh my gosh!
No, dude, I got like $28 back, which is like the most sad solitary.
Davis Mattek, congratulations on your winnings.
It's just like great, yeah, thanks.
Somebody must not have registered a lineup versus you.
No, dude, I'm telling you, people are still.
There's no way somebody made a lineup on DraftKings.com that scored less than you in cash games.
Here, look,
it's not possible.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go.
We need to out this person, like username and everything.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
This person's gonna be listening to this show and never listen again.
All right. Last 3 days, NFL.
Davis, the listeners don't actually want to hear this. Let's move on.
No, I want to know who scored the least amount of points.
All right, Sammy, let's move on and talk a little bit about some like takeaways.
Okay, perfect. Do you want to start?
Yeah, I have one, and it's just that I think one of my moves that I mean, I don't know if it was fish, like looking at the rest of my lineup construction, but I should have made it more of a point to get Evan Ingram in. He is at the tight end position, somebody who's just getting a massive amount of volume, and I think I probably could have seen it, but I mean, he had 12 targets this week. And at the tight end position and the discount that you're getting versus other wide receivers, if you look at where he's priced versus other wide receivers who are going to see 12 targets, like he's a smash him in play. And I think I didn't try hard enough to get Ingram into my lineups.
I think that's a really sharp take. I mean, he's their only athlete left. Sterling Shepard obviously was inactive. This was a later game, so we didn't have that information. It was a bit of a surprise scratch, but I think regardless, Ingram's going to see like those number one targets. And dude, he's a beast after the catch.
That's the thing. He's an athletic freak. It's not just somebody who's getting volume. It's also somebody who has the talent and the ability to break big plays. And so,
Davis, are you eating Cheetos?
No.
He was 4.4, which is the same price as, the Eric Deckers and the Marquise Lees that I've seen some people play in cash, where it was like Ingram had so much more of a share of that offense where
a lot of people own Decker.
Yeah. Decker was
and if you're listening and you played Decker, I'm sorry, but that was not a good move, and you probably know that at this point.
Small dick Decker.
Yeah, it was
no BDD. No BDD. A little chilly.
Here, Nate, you should have read the absolutes, mate. I wrote up Ingram as my top tight end play.
It's a good take. I mean, he should be a top tight end play. We're going to see him up in that $5,000 plus range really soon. I haven't looked at the prices for next week yet, but if he's not up there, why would you not?
He's the new ASJ.
Yeah, except way better.
Dude, Jermaine Kearse over under 9.5 touchdowns at the end of the year.
Oh yeah, over.
You got to take he just scores every week. One target, one touchdown every week. Jermaine.
That's who we all should have played is McCown. McCown actually might be a boss.
My big takeaway is that the Vikings are doing this again with McKinnon. They're just like, oh, you're fat and you scored a touchdown? Great. You're going to get more run than Jerick McKinnon. And the winner is Fatavius Murray. No. Oh,
Fatavius had that one run, and for the rest of the game, it was we're just going to ride Latavius to the end. That was still.
And it's so sad. I actually played a lot of McKinnon in tournaments too, because I thought the same thing that was true about Ingram would be true with McKinnon, where he smashed last week, but got raised a ton in price, so people would be off of him. And that did happen, but did not get the same results as Ingram.
All right, so Davis, I have a question for you. Did Ty Montgomery get Wally pipped here? Is this Aaron Jones' backfield?
Yeah,
Did this just happen? Because literally 3 weeks ago, before the rib injury, we were all talking about how incredible Montgomery was.
He was a lock.
He's a freak.
The first 3 weeks.
He's bouncing off of everybody. Doesn't come down easy.
100% snap share.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, we get Aaron Jones coming up with his college production and his college dominator rating.
He's not even Montgomery's not even a third down back. He's just pure if Aaron Jones if Aaron Jones takes a shot to the ribs, Montgomery comes in for a series or something. That's it though.
I just can't believe the Packers had this guy third string. Wasn't even going to think about using him.
You can't believe the team that has been sitting on Jeff Janis while Jared Aberdeen out there running swing routes would do that.
Geronimo Allison running all over the field.
Geronimo Allison got a reception, by the way.
I mean, Allison's whatever. Man, Hundley is pretty bad though, you guys.
Ty Montgomery had 5 touches for 15 yards.
While Aaron Jones had 5 targets and then just crushed the workload in the backfield.
Guess who was stuck starting Ty Montgomery in a bunch of seasonal leagues? Yeah.
That's pretty sad. I mean, I have a ton of them in MFLs. This sunk my battleship. I mean,
Sammy, what did you learn today, fella?
I learned that Mark Ingram is not just a home play. I feel like I have it in my head with the Saints that I just really don't want to have much exposure to them outside of their home stadium. And I mean, I think what you said earlier was really sharp. He's just got so fewer other people to take his stuff now, and they're clearly riding him. And clearly they don't want to be an offense that's throwing the ball 40 times a game. That's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to be better at defense. They're trying to run the ball. They're filtering the offense through him and Kamara. And I was a fish for not playing him. So I learned that.
Yeah. I mean, you were a little bit of a fish, but that's okay. Not as big as me.
Correct.
Another thing that I learned is that, I mean, maybe Derrick Henry's not Superman. Maybe. Maybe.
I was waiting to get some mean DMs from Silva because he said, don't let me switch off of my Henry shares no matter what. And then Ivory was going to start, and he's like, "Oh, I'm switching it all." And I'm like, "Stay strong, Evan." I mean, it's not like Ivory smashed or anything, but yeah.
Oh, it could have been such a good day.
But like you guys thought Ivory had a bad yards per carry. Derrick Henry had 13 rushing attempts for a 1.0 yards per carry.
Damn, I totally pumped him on the slow cast too. I'm like, listen to all the ways that Henry could have an awesome game, and I listed them on live YouTube, which is just egregious.
But the one thing I will say is
one target.
Did what?
Did Henry even get one target?
Oh, I'm sure he did not.
He got 3.
Wow.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, he had 2 receptions.
I'm impressed.
But I mean, the thing is that Myles Garrett being back is like a huge upgrade for this Cleveland team. And I mean, his snap share has gone up since week 5 when he started playing from the injury. He played 80% of the snaps this week. Like, this Cleveland team, I think, is good. And Myles Garrett has had.
Well, Nate,
from a defensive standpoint, this Cleveland team is going to be much harder, I think, than people.
I just want you to be more measured about the things you say when you're on air, dude.
Dude, I think
let's run an instant replay, Nate. I think this Cleveland team is good.
Okay, this Cleveland defense is better, I think, than people give them credit for.
Sure. Also, Mariota with a bum hammy. I'm not into it. Not into this offense right now. Playing Richard was so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I played him on FanDuel Cash because he was super cheap on FanDuel.
Yeah,
he was the same price on FanDuel.
And McCourty was out. Not that I probably would have played Richard anyways, though.
Yeah. Another thing I learned is that, I mean, and I've known this, but I think something we all learned is it might be the thing to do to pay up for Jacksonville consistently for their defense. It is so freaking good. This is the second game they've had this season where they've had 10 sacks. And then they had the game with 5 picks and 2 defensive touchdowns. They have literally won people 3 different weeks now. And they're just super good. And so when they're facing these bad teams, I think especially in tournaments, it might be just worth paying up for.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. They're very good. They're allowing points. They're allowing 1.41 points per drive, which is the lowest in the league. They're allowing a touchdown on only 14% of their drives, which is the lowest in the league. I mean, they're really good. Even outside of the turnovers and everything else, it's not just some variance that's helping them. They're just a really stout defense.
I learned that Mitch Trubisky is unlikely to top 15 completions in any game for the rest of the year.
I mean, I think I'd just be happy with 15 attempts.
Well, Nate, come on. Let's not set our sights too high.
I mean, here's the thing, though. I can't say that he's bad.
You have no idea.
Yeah,
you have no idea. It's literally he's playing 2 drives. He had 7 pass attempts.
I mean, they had Tarek Cohen throw a pass last week.
Yeah, but he had 107 yards. He averaged 15.3 yards per attempt today. That's fire.
That's what I'm saying, though. I don't know. I would love to see a game where they just let him pass and have 30 pass attempts.
That's not happening.
Into a rhythm and see if he can actually move the ball. Where it's it's frustrating because the Bears clearly don't have anything to play for, and you're not even going to let this rookie quarterback go.
They don't have anything to play for.
Let's continue giving the ball to Jordan Howard because let's see what we have there.
Tariq Cohen had 1 touch in this game, which is crazy.
70 yards.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, pretty good average. He did good.
No, the crazy thing about Trubisky is they're going to fire the coach, and that's obvious. So he's going to already have to start changing that either this season or next season. Instead of getting him receivers, spending money there, they paid the guy who's sitting on the bench behind him. And so then by the time he's done with his rookie contract, they're finally going to be ready to start trying to win again. And then they're going to have to pay him.
But instead, let's just give Jordan Howard 21 rush attempts.
Well, Jordan Howard, UAB, let's go.
Joe Howe.
Do you fellas learn anything from the Patriots game?
Not especially. I mean, we knew that the Falcons were bad, and they are. I can't believe that Matt Ryan did not throw for 300 yards against this defense when so many supposedly lesser quarterbacks did. I mean, Atlanta was helpless. They only scored and moved the ball when the Patriots started backing off a little bit.
Todos is back.
Yes.
Him and James White are the best options. Gillisley, like Sammy, he just He just doesn't exist.
He's awful.
Gillislee's dead. The funny thing is, like, Dion wasn't – like, when is Dion going to start cutting into the passing work from White? Or is it going to be pretty much White's going to be the passing guy and Dion's just going to be –
I think it's game plan specific.
Because Dion only had one target, which was surprising. I mean, he had the rushing work, but he only had one target where James White.
Dion is a very good runner.
But he's also – I mean, we've also seen his elite passing work too.
Yeah, it's weird that they don't use him more in the passing game, but they just like White more. And the reality is this: no matter how much I think it's clear that Dion Lewis is the lead back now, I still don't think he's like really that playable or usable in fantasy because he's not a lock for goal line work. He's not a lock for targets. He's not a lock for 15 carries ever. It's just, dude, that whole backfield's a mess.
You know what he is a great play on? Prime time slates. Like if the Patriots were on the Monday Thursday slate, he's such a good play.
You're waiting for this. You're like checking the schedule right now.
You're waiting to Mr. Tuttle it and put in 150 lineups with him.
Guys, do you know how much effort it is to do 150 lineups?
It takes 10 seconds.
Not?
No, it takes like 30, and you have to like upload your Excel file onto DraftKings. It's like honestly exhausting.
Can't be bothered. I've already done 10 hours of work this week.
I cannot download to CSV and then hit upload. This is too much work.
No, it was so much easier on Cruncher where it was just the one button. Like
week 14, the Patriots play Miami on Monday night.
Oh, guys. Todos con Dion.
It's fire. Oh, my gosh. What do they do? What do they do? The Patriots play both Monday and Thursday? Is that right?
Can't be. There's no way.
Oh, no. Never mind. It's not. I have the Steelers as my favorite, so they put them at the top on my app.
Great.
Sorry.
Good.
Sorry. Cool story, Sammy.
You fellas ready to talk Monday, Thursday?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Well,
it's the Wentz goat, mate.
It's the Wentz goat.
Wentz is the only play here.
Yeah. Lock it all up. All the air yards just
this Thursday game is going to be like the real poop fecta of the season. It's going to be real bad.
Somebody is going to bank this by jamming in a bunch of Ravens or a bunch of Dolphins.
No, the person who wins is 150 Matt Moore, Kenny Stills teams.
For sure, 100%.
Dude, how about the Kenny Stills breakout since I've used him in cash? I mean, he is
the curse of Kenny.
Dude. You guys saw who balled out for the Bengals today.
Oh yeah, LaFell got in.
LaFell did it.
LaFell and Stills are just like locks the rest of the season.
Seriously though, Stills put up like 20 points in DraftKings a game.
We're playing Rashard Matthews and Demarius Thomas, and it's just like play Stills.
Play Stills, man. Easy game.
Y'all are just ahead of your time.
Who is the terrible Baltimore wide receiver who gets like 8 checkdowns in this game?
I mean, he's not terrible, but Michael Campanaro.
Yeah, I really like Campanaro.
He's going to be the lock. It's going to be, for me, from Baltimore, it's him and then Ben Watson. I actually played Ben Watson in cash today.
No, Wallace is going to get deep for one, guaranteed.
No, Wallace is going to be out again, I think. He had a concussion today, I think.
Oh, well, then it's not guaranteed.
And normally, if you have a concussion on Sunday, it's hard to get in there for the Thursday game.
No, guy, this is so crazy. Like, and it's even crazier on full slates. But like, the DraftKings salary is more or less done by fantasy points per game. Like, they adjust it a little bit for matchup, a little bit for context and stuff. But it is driven by FPPG, except for Terrell Pryor. Like, whenever you sort by FPPG, like, he goes down like below Brandon LaFell. But like, when you sort by salary, he's like at 5,500 or whatever.
I am definitely playing the slate, and I will have 100% Pryor. Like,
I mean, how do you not?
I don't know, but I will.
I still believe in Pryor. I'm still holding out hope.
The best construct is Wentz. Dude, oh my God, there's nothing at running back.
No, it's like Chris Thompson. Like, the thing on these slates is that you need to tell yourself a story and then build lineups off of that story.
Yeah,
so your story, right?
Write a narrative, write a script, and then just follow that and go, Chris
Correct.
Thompson's going to break a 100-yarder, which means this, which means this, which means this, which means Wentz is going to have to pass for 150 yards to Torrey Smith and Nelson Aguilar. You just jam it in. It's prime time. Like, this is – you're not playing cash unless you're –
A fish.
Yeah. Don't play Flacco. I think it's Wentz.
No, do you play Smallwood, though? Do you play one of these Philly running backs? How do you get a running back here?
No. I mean, I think you definitely – the way I'm probably going to approach it is
Alex
Philly
Collins is the play.
Maybe.
Alex Collins is the play, man. As much as I like Javorius.
Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, they seem to hate him.
Kenyon Drake.
They seem to hate him. And then Watson, for me, would be the play at tight end. You're not going to be able to play up to Ertz.
I would probably play Buck. I'd probably just go like Buck and Chris Thompson and hope that those are the teams that find themselves down and that they have to go captain check down with the backs.
I mean, Vernon Davis, elite play on this slate. You just bank on the in-game Jordan Reid injury, and all of a sudden you've got half the field dominated.
And it's like a pretty solid bet, let's be honest.
I mean, Jordan Reed's always coming out of the game with, like, the wind knocked out of him or whatever.
Yeah, how good would it feel to finally cheer when he leaves the field instead of, like, being tilted?
Yeah.
You know?
This
is anti-fragile, right?
We've already got this on a short game slate. It happened. I made fun of the Siege like 2 or 3 weeks ago with Keenum and Bradford, and Bradford leaves with a sore knee, and Keenum comes in and just throws 150 and a touchdown real quick.
Smashed.
Easy game. Any other short slate takes? Nate Nohling?
No, I mean, my only other take would be Alshon Jeffrey's way too cheap.
Yeah. And Norman's not back yet, right?
No. So he's going to be out for, I think, 4 weeks.
Cool.
So if you're trying to get one of these touchdowns from guys that are quote unquote not expectant, it's like Dotson and Aguilar, I think are your guys.
Dotson is the Tuttle play. He's the 100 has 2 touchdowns on 4 touches.
I'm into it. I like some Dotson.
I mean, I can't believe Tuttle didn't actually win $100K with the McKissick play.
Why are you needling him?
Tuttle did take down the Thunderdome.
Yeah, he did just win the Thunderdome.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
Yeah,
but I agree. That was tough to jam in all that McKissick and not like sweep the slate.
Yeah. All right, boys. I think that's gonna do it for us here at the RotoGrinders NFL Daily Fantasy Show, Sunday recap show with Davis, Sammy, and Nate. Make sure to give us all a follow on Twitter at Davis Mattek, at Nate Nohling, at Sammy Reid, FI, and we'll see you back next week.